Oh, I'm not even wearing my Columbia shirt. Should be better. Back when I was a senior in high school, Ivy Day was a pretty mixed bag for me. I got into some schools, I got rejected from some schools, I got waitlisted at some schools. Fortunately, one of the schools that I did get accepted to was Columbia, but in order to get accepted, I first had to submit my application, part of which involved writing a number of supplemental essays. And maybe some of you watching are applying to colleges this year and are currently working on your Columbia essays, and you might find it a little difficult, a little tricky, and you may not know where to go with your essays, but have no fear, because I figure one of the best ways to get the creative juices really going is by seeing examples of what's worked in the past. So today I'm going to be sharing the essays that I wrote for my Columbia application, and hopefully you guys can use them as a sort of reference as you're writing your own essays. But just to be clear, I don't think my essays are perfect or anything, and there isn't really a single ideal that you should be striving for in terms of your essays, because everything here is going to be so subjective, and everyone who's ever gotten accepted into Columbia has written their essays in their own way. So while you can use this video and my essays as a sort of reference guide to help guide your own writing, be sure to include your own voice to make these essays really your own. And with that said, let's get into the essays. Alright, so I'll be reading through all of my essays from my Columbia application, so I'll read the prompt for the essay followed by the actual essay itself. Just know that by the time you guys are applying, some of these prompts may be different from back when I was applying, and some of the prompts might just not even be there anymore, but I'll be reading everything from my application for you guys. So, let's get to it. List a few words or phrases that describe your ideal college community. 150 words. Energizes me to leap out of bed every day, doors wide open, embracing people from all walks of life, fostering strong relationships on and beyond campus, awe-inspiring people whose stories I can learn from, students and faculty alike, an abundance of fighting dreamers, purposefully active in politics and global affairs, opportunities to learn and practice new languages, always has something interesting and meaningful to do, even on cold winter days, limitless options for food, good pizza and boba are a must, learning that goes beyond the classroom, challenging my thoughts and perceptions, expanding horizons, guiding me to a place further than the universe, indomitable spirit, and unabashed passion, a passionate, lifelong barcada I can call a second home, does epic things. List the titles of the required readings from courses during the school year or summer that you enjoyed most in the past year. 150 words. A People's History of the United States, Howard Zinn. Interpreter of Maladies, Jhumpa Lahiri. 50 Psychology Classics, Tom Butler Bowden. Invictus, William Ernest Henley. Canterbury Tales, Chaucer. Sailing to Byzantium and The Second Coming, William Butler Yeats. Quite Frankly, Mark Halliday. Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. The Ballot or the Bullet, Malcolm X. Hamlet, Shakespeare. A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, James Joyce. The Importance of Being Earnest, Oscar Wilde. Korean Grammar in Use Beginning, Various. Welcome to Korean, Nisley Y. Native American Creation Stories, Various. The Dream of a Ridiculous Man, Fyodor Dostoevsky. Tales of Amadou Kumba, Barago Diop. A Scandal in Bohemia, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Goodbye to Berlin, Christopher Isherwood. Remembering America, A Voice from the 60s, Richard Goodwin. The Fall of the House of Usher, Edgar Allan Poe. Rip Van Winkle, Washington Irving. Jabberwocky, Lewis Carroll. List the titles of the books you read for pleasure that you enjoyed most in the past year. 150 words. The 13 and a Half Lives of Captain Blue Bear, Walter Moores. Eleanor and Park, Rainbow Rowell. The Bride Test, Helen Hoang. The Kiss Quotient, Helen Hoang. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, Mark Manson. Comparative Grammar of Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and French, Mikhail Petruin, currently reading. The Prince, Niccolo Machiavelli. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What If, Randall Munro. This Is Not a T-Shirt, Bobby Hundreds. The 4-Hour Workweek, Timothy Ferriss. We Were 8 Years in Power, Ta-Nehisi Coates. But What If We're Wrong, Chuck Klosterman. Goodbye Things, Fumio Sasaki. Magnus Chase, The Hammer of Thor, Rick Riordan. The Art of War, Sun Tzu. The Power of Kindness, Piero Ferrucci. The Picture of Dorian Gray, Oscar Wilde. Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari. Blink, Malcolm Gladwell. So You Want to Talk About Race, Ijeoma Oluo. A Tale for the Time Being, Ruth Ozeki. My Phone Diary, me. List the titles of the print, electronic publications, and websites you read regularly. Humans of New York, The Salem News, National Geographic, The New York Times, Daily Mail, Time, ABS-CBN News, Next Shark, Goodreads, TV Tropes, TED, Webtoon, Shonen Jump, Nizzly for Youth Interactive. List the titles of the films, concerts, shows, exhibits, lectures, and other entertainments you enjoyed most in the past year. Gukje Taxiun Junsa, Neon Kunom, Your Name, A Silent Voice, Detective Pikachu, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Parasite, Laid Back Camp, Dr. Stone, A Place Further Than the Universe, Quixote Nuevo, Huntington Theater, The Salem Witch Museum, Empress of China's Forbidden City, Nature's Nation, American Art and Environment, and Raven's Many Gifts, Native Art of the Northwest Coast, Peabody Essex Museum. A Seat at the Table, Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the U.S. Senate, the Peace Corps, John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum, Monumento de Santiago, Museo de las Casas Reales, America's Presidents, National Portrait Gallery, American Center Korea, U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Korea, War Memorial of Korea, Jeonju Hanok Village, Buguksa Temple, Busoksa Temple, Hahe Folk Village, Jeonju National Museum, Jeonju Museum of History, Confucian Culture Museum, Jeonju Ultimate Music Festival, History of the Entire World, I Guess, Bill Wirtz, Words Are Weapons, Naheem Watson. Please tell us what you value most about Colombia and why. 300 words. What does it mean to be human? It's a question without an easy answer, but one that Colombia incessantly pursues through storytelling. First, its students seek to understand what it meant to be human. The core curriculum examines humanities and the arts as a vehicle for storytelling, a story that spans thousands of years of human experience. Through small class sizes and intense dialogue, students challenge how they think about and view the world as they explore contemporary civilization and the frontiers of science. Together, students become informed, articulate, and proactive agents of change in a global community. But it doesn't stop in the classroom. Around campus and on the streets of New York, there are a wealth of people whose stories I can learn from. Colombia is a microcosm of the surrounding city, unparalleled in its embrace of people from all walks of life. I want to engage in meaningful discussions within this diverse community, topics ranging from politics and philosophy to pizza and Pokemon. Even if our views differ, I appreciate variety in opinions because it allows me to develop my worldviews in ways homogeneous thought cannot. Everyone's story deserves to be heard. Humanity is shaped by how we communicate with one another. The stories we tell define us. To engage meaningfully in the world, we must come to understand one another. To do that, I want to hear as many stories as I can. And with offerings in 57 languages, everything from Arabic to Zulu, Colombia will certainly have me prepared. And as I read these stories, I'll also be writing my own, woven together into the collective tapestry of humankind. As a child, I loved losing myself in stories. Now I love them even more. They are what make us human, and at Columbia, the story never ends. For applicants to Columbia College, please tell us what from your current and past experiences, either academic or personal, attracts you specifically to the field or fields of study that you noted in the member questions section. If you are currently undecided, please write about any field or fields in which you may have an interest at this time. 300 words. As a budding K-pop enthusiast, I was overjoyed to hear that I'd won a scholarship to study in Jeonju, South Korea through Nizzly Y. I packed my bags, eager to spend my summer in an entirely new country. Kimchi and high-speed internet awaited. Kaja! However, it wasn't just the carefree government-sponsored vacation I'd expected. From day one, classes were intense, taught entirely in Korean. Given that nobody in my class had any prior experience in the language, we faced a steep learning curve. 2 weeks later, we could finally hold a basic conversation. Fortunately, my host family spoke English and was willing to help me study late into the night. It was slow, but we were making progress. While I endeavored to improve my language skills, I also learned more about Korean society. I learned about their views on reunification, about how students face such immense pressure regarding the Sunung, about why I saw so many No Japan signs everywhere. I discovered so much about the place that had become my second home, doing my best to keep up with my slowly improving Korean. Even after coming home, I've continued my language studies. In between messaging my host family and other new friends, I've learned more about the country's role in global affairs, from its rising entertainment industry to its flourishing tech sector. Especially as we consider the growing influence of its northern neighbor, South Korea is certainly becoming an increasingly important player in the international community. In the future, I hope to work in the Foreign Service because I'm deeply interested in learning about foreign nations and their interactions with each other. With one of the strongest East Asian studies programs in the world, Colombia can help make this a reality. Hopefully one day I can visit Jeonju once more. So yeah, these were my Colombia essays. Hopefully you guys enjoyed me reading them, and I hope you guys were able to take something away from this that you can apply to your own essays. Just please, whatever you do, do not plagiarize my essays. I mean, I imagine it'll probably be hard to do so since the stuff that I wrote about was so specific to my experiences, but still, don't just copy what I have, write your own essays. Use this as a guide, a reference to help you generate ideas and see what works and what doesn't, but make sure that what you're writing is really your own, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's filling out this application, so it should be your stuff. That's about all for now. So for all you high school students who are currently applying to colleges, and especially for those of you who are applying to Columbia, I wish you the best of luck. If after watching this video, you're still looking for specific advice on how to write each type of supplemental essay, check out this video here, or feel free to check out any of the other videos I have on my channel about college applications.